Hey everyone, it's Rabbi Shmuel Pollen. I want to thank you for being with us on the Light Unto the Nations show. This will hopefully be a short episode, but it's an episode that my employee really thought that I should create because we had an incident, not a terrible incident, but an incident nonetheless. There was a task that needed to be done, and the employee gave me the expectation that it would be done by tomorrow. But in fact, he didn't reveal to me certain details, and the details revealed it would actually not be done for several weeks. And I was depending on that, and I had made many arrangements around it being ready tomorrow. So I was very upset and got angry, and I reprimanded him, told him what he did wrong, and I told him not to contact me again until it's ready. Didn't want to deal with him until it's ready. That was my punishment for him, which I think was fitting to the crime. Um, he didn't give me the right expectations about when it should be done. So let your expectations be whatever they are, and then come back to me when the expectation is fulfilled. So he made a big mistake, and I told him he comes back to me and says he's really upset and he's really depressed. So I said, there's no reason to be upset. You're upset for three reasons. And first, I told him what everybody should hear from the Godfather: be a man. You should be a man, man up, or woman up. A man or woman is someone who's in control of their emotions. So people will get angry at you in life. That's natural. It's a natural emotion. You will get hit with that. You have to be able to let it bounce off of you because that's what a man does. And that's what a true woman does. You have to be in control over your emotions. That's really important to keep in mind. But then I went into the really juicy stuff. I gave him the explanations that are the core of happiness. And I have a book that I'm coming out with called Opt Out of Anxiety, and it'll be coming out soon. But it's going to be 100 times more than what I'm teaching you here. But what I'm teaching you here is the core, and you can get a tremendous amount if you just pay attention to what I'm about to tell you. I said there's three reasons why you're upset: a bad expectation, a bad rule, and a need for gamification. Talk about gamification. It's a word you may never have heard, but Tim Ferriss uses it, Jerry Seinfeld uses it, and you need to start using it in your life. So, bad expectation. So, our happiness is a direct result of our expectations. So, when you're a kid, if you wanted a red bike and you got a yellow bike, that wasn't your expectation, so you were upset. If your pizza was supposed to arrive at 10 and it arrives at 10:30, that's not your expectation, so you're not happy. You're not getting what you wanted. Your expectation is not being met. If you're having trouble getting through the line at the grocery store, you're not happy because you expected to be further along in the store than you actually are. So, what you need to do is very simple: lower your expectations, keep them low. That is the way to happiness. Just love life itself. Start to appreciate life for what it is. And my mentor's mentor used to roll around on the ground in ecstasy, saying the words, I don't want your upper paradise. I don't want your lower paradise. I just want you alone. I want God Himself, life itself. That's what you want. You don't care what the way things turn out. You either have very low expectations or no expectations in the sense that you love life itself. Just being, being alive, feeling your breath enter your lungs. So build out. One way to do this is to build out the worst expectation in your mind, the worst way it could possibly go. And then whatever happens, you're happy because it exceeded your expectations. So it's very, very simple. Lower your expectation and expect the worst. And then whatever happens is going to be fantastic because you're expecting something much worse. So if the employee was expecting to be fired for what he did wrong, then that would be a very low expectation. And being yelled at would be wonderful because it's way beyond what he expected. And we should learn from Moses, who said, Vanachnu ma, I am what? What am I? We shouldn't have the pride to think that we deserve so much. We do so much less for God than he does for us. Just think of all the heartbeats he's given us from the moment we were in the womb until today. Imagine how much you would pay for one heartbeat if it was missing, and then realize that God has given you millions and millions of dollars worth of heartbeats. And what have we given back? How much gratitude have we given back to him for everything that he does all around us all the time? So if you would have made an expectation that he'd be fired, and what actually happened was he got yelled at, he's going to be a happy camper. Um, so anger and depression is really a result of pride. Pride is the enemy. Your expectations are too high because you're prideful. You think you deserve A, B, C, D, and E, X, Y, Z, but you actually don't. God actually does a lot more for you than you do for him. It's not even close. So we deserve very little. And Jacob in the Bible says, "Katainti mikol chasadim." I am made small through all the kindnesses. He had this kindness that he was saved from Esau, even though he tricked him. But the bottom line was he felt that he was too small to receive any more kindness, and he was worried about going into war because of that. Jacob, one of the greatest men that ever lived, was worried that he didn't do enough for God for him to give back his life and his survival in the upcoming war against his brother. Now, looking at things as they're going to be the worst of expectations seems kind of negative. Seems like you're looking at the whole world in a negative way. But that's why we need the third ingredient, the third hack for happiness, and that is gamification. We'll get to that in a minute, where we're going to do right now the rules. We're going to talk about bad rules. We all have rules in our mind. A rule could be, I'll be happy when I'm in debt. That's a rule. Only this will happen when that happens. I'll be happy when the vaccine comes out, when I get the vaccine. I'll be happy when my friend calls me back or this girl calls me back. And on YouTube, sometimes there's negative comments, and even celebrities are affected by these negative comments because they have a rule. And the rule is that every single one of my comments should be positive. How can you expect that? What kind of rule is that? That's not a good rule at all. Your expectation should be, I'm happy with my YouTube video whenever I feel that I did my best. Whenever I feel, you could even say, whenever I feel I did a satisfactory job, a medium job, an okay job. You can make the rule anything you want. You can say, I'll be happy when I wiggle my toe, as that's an example from Tony Robbins. But you really have these nasty rules in your head. And send Billie Eilish this video because I know that she's very affected by negative comments. Send the girl Myra, who had no friends until she was 21, send her this video because you have to change your rules and then you won't be so depressed. They're both very affected by the negative comments, and it's because of a high expectation, the expectation that everyone will like you, the expectation that every comment will be good, and it's a result of pride. So a lot of people are prideful and they don't realize it. They think it's just anger and anxiety and depression. It's actually pride behind all of it. Finally, gamification. Make what you're doing a game. And not only a game that you already won. It's like you you're in a shooting game at an arcade and you shoot, and then you're out. The game's over. Then it comes back to play without you ever putting in any tokens. So your play is completely free play. So when you approach life, approach it like a game, and not only a game, but a game where you need not put in any tokens. A completely free game, a game where, as Rocky says, it doesn't matter how hard you hit, it's how many times you can get hit and keep on going. So in other words, the rule is that as long as you're on your feet and you're not depressed in your bed, as long as you're out there in the world, your rule should be that you should be happy because it's all can be a game from that point on. So the game could be simply how many positive thoughts can I have versus how many negative thoughts I have. You just go boom, boom, boom. What was my thought right now? What was my thought right now? Go back and forth. Uh, Play, compete, enjoy with everything you do. So let's see how fast I can clean up this spilled milk. Let's see how fast I can get back into my boss's good graces, as in our case. Or let's see how well I can do on this test at school. Instead of calling it a test, call it a game. Look at it as a game, and you're getting points. And if you get a question wrong, it's like that sound that it makes when you get out. So imagine that sound. Imagine that this is like an arcade. This test is not a test. It's a game. Change that word. Change your life. Change the words you use to describe things. Change your life. May this video help many, many people. May it go viral and bring about happiness all over the world. And that will bring about the time when the happiness is, we're told, eternal. And God bless.